Hey gang, welcome to another edition of Doc Schlock, where it's a review of the movie Gourmet Zombie Chef from Hell. I don't think so. This is got to be beyond horrible. It's the story of a man who apparently has been around for 600 or so years, who gets his victims, cuts them up, and serves them as breakfast, lunch, and dinner in his restaurant. The movie starts off with apparently these three, warlocks dragging somebody in a bathrobe with long hair and giving them the third degree. Or something like that. I was looking at the ridiculousness of the first part of this movie and thought, this is not gonna get really good, and it didn't. We go to modern day. Of course, this movie was done in 1986, I believe, to where we meet up with our chef, and there's people eating at his restaurant. One guy complains about finding something in his stew, and he doesn't like it, and he walks out, and the movie doesn't get much better than that. Here's pretty much all the stupid crap that happens in this movie. One guy loses his girlfriend, she becomes dinner. He tries to call the police, doesn't do any good. He goes back in there, trying to figure out what might have happened to his girlfriend. He gets the aid of a waitress who works there, but she winds up betraying him, and he becomes dinner. Some cop goes in there, trying to figure out what's going on. The chef catches him and knocks his head off, literally just by punching it off of his shoulders. You know what? This is one of the stupidest horror movies ever made. And I know I say that about a lot of horror movies, but this one has very bad acting, very, very bad special effects, and a plot that makes no sense. And it even includes one of the stupidest, dumbest, lamest fights of all time, when apparently one of our head chef's warlock dudes meets up with him under an overpass. Well, there's kind of a pun right there if I've never heard one. And decides to try and tell him that what he's doing is wrong and blah 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 blah. And they wind up having this spell fight that is one of the worst of all time. Let me put it to you this way. Do you ever see kids kind of pointing their hands at each other outwards, Sort of like this, This is how it went. One guy was going to him. Evil chef was going to the other guy. Just going That's it. They were going like this and like this. Nothing coming out of their fingers. And apparently they were trying to kill each other doing that. Well, zombie chef dude winds up winning the fight. And he also winds up falling in love with this librarian who apparently has a spell book that he wants, but he doesn't succeed in getting it. Anyway, apparently a new warlock comes in. It turns out, I guess she's a witch or something like that. And zombie chef dude is melting. He winds up melting because I guess she doesn't want to serve him up anything, basically tells him you can't cook people, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, I wasn't really paying attention because the dialogue in this movie was beyond horrible. It was god-awful, it was terrible. Look, folks, don't watch this movie, okay? Please don't. Because if you watch this movie, whatever brain cells you have, they will be gone before it's over with. Dining out can be a permanent experience. This movie felt like it took a permanent amount of time out of my life. That doesn't make sense, but you know what I mean. For Doc Schlock. Until next time, stay strong and rock on. And, of course, happy Thanksgiving.